What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. So this is the Blacklist Season 8, Episode 1, Roanoke. And unfortunately, the writers took it in a place that, well, two places actually, that I didn't want it to go. So first of all, Liz is officially just on the run now. She's officially turned to a life of crime, all because of her mother. Which is something that, it felt like we kind of explored this before. You know, she did go on the run at one point because she was accused of something, and they've all struggled with the past and the darkness and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden she just decides, you know what, no, I'm willing to go that extra step. Now, of course, she is showing that she still doesn't want to hurt people. She doesn't want to hurt Dom to get the information, but still, like, your mother is doing all of this to keep herself alive. She forced you, basically, and she made you turn your back on your friends, the FBI, all of that. She turned you into a fugitive for herself. Oh, it's to protect me and them and yourself. No, it's to protect her. Because now Liz is in danger for everything she's doing to help her. And the FBI, how is this protecting them? It's not. You're only protecting yourself, and now you forced your daughter to get in on this, which is ironic because she tells this whole story at the beginning about how what your grandfather made me do. Get into bed with an American soldier. Like, that's what I was forced to. You are now doing what your father did to you. You're forcing your daughter to help you, to help your aspirations. That's what your dad did to you. And you're complaining about that, and you're upset with him, and you're pissed at him. You tried to kill him because of this, and then now you're doing it to your own daughter. You're not forcing her to sleep with anybody. You forced her into a life of crime. And Liz is just okay with it. She does seem upset by it, but she's willing to do it all for her mom. That's it. And it's so stupid from Liz. Even like the story that she told about this N13. First of all, yes, I would not be surprised if if Katerina assumes the N13 is Reddington. I don't buy any of it. Especially, and Liz shouldn't buy any of it either. Because if that's all Reddington really is just this mole who's trying to gather all of this information, then he would have no reason to have helped Liz as long as he has. Like, you can tell how much he cares about her. There have been several times where if he was just there for information, he could have let her die. After she died the one time, he would have just been like, oh, whatever, let's just move on. We got a bunch of information. Let's just move on to the next thing. Like, he could have changed his identity. He could have just moved on. But no, he's not just interested in information. He truly cares about Liz. He wants to help her. He wants to keep her safe. He's shown that so many times over the past 7 seasons. And then as soon as Liz hears this one story from this woman who absolutely hates Reddington, to the point where she is willing to sacrifice innocence to get to him, as soon as Liz hears this story, instantly she's like, oh yeah, okay, I believe you. All of his actions over the last several years should convince me that that's not true, that that's not who he is. And even if he is this mysterious N13, clearly he's not just a mole who's looking for information and that's it. And that's the only reason he picked Liz. Like, there's so much more to him than that, for sure. And if not, well, then the writers are just kind of stupid. And, the writers of the show that wrote Reddington, like, they, for some reason, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with him if that's all he is. So, in my mind, based on all the evidence we have about Reddington, about what he's done in the past, that is not who he is. Even if that is who he is, that's not all who he is. And the fact that Liz just completely overlooks all of the past just because her mother told her this, and she's definitely like a truth teller. She wouldn't lie to her unless, she hid the truth about what she wanted Roanoke for and why she, hired this guy to imitate Roanoke. Oh wait, she did hide that from her. But I'm sure that's the only thing she's hiding. She wouldn't hide anything else from Liz. As soon as she found out what was going on with Roanoke and what her mom told her about Roanoke, Like that, in that instance, I was like, okay, cool. So you see that she's willing to lie to you too. She withheld information just like Reddington does. Surely this means you're going to finally turn your back on her. And then she just sits down, okay, tell me the whole truth. Tell me everything. And her mom gives her this story, and I'm thinking, oh, you're not really going to believe all of this. And then she starts helping out with the team. She's like, hey, this is what's going to happen. And I'm just like, no, she's with her mom. They want to do this whole plot twisty thing. That's what's going on. It's so obvious. She's wearing a wire. God. Oh man. Because don't get me wrong, it's not Liz. It's the writers. The writers wrote her to do this, and it's a stupid ass decision from the writers' point of view. Because now I have no reason to root for her. Now I don't care what the hell happens to Liz. For all these seasons, I cared about her. I wanted to see her, her and Reddington. I wanted to see them work together, get to the bottom of the truth, find everything to look. I've rooted for both of them for so long, and now I'm just like, Liz, screw her. Like I honestly kind of hate her at this point because she is so easily manipulated. And that's the thing is, she had been manipulated in the past by Reddington, but it was more so him manipulating her without her knowing. This is a situation where she's choosing to follow her manipulator. And it should be apparently obvious to her that she's being manipulated. Because it wasn't always obvious when Reddington was doing it. Sometimes he was very good at making things... Honestly, he was good at making them get the win as well as himself. In this case, her mom... They're not working together. This is not a mutually beneficial relationship. This is her mom gets the win, and then she gets to suffer. She gets to lose all of her friends. She gets to lose her job. She gets to lose the task force. All of the good work that she's done over the past several years. She loses all of that, and her mom might get survival, and that's it. Stupid. Stupid as hell. So, yeah. That's my frustration with that. The second thing the writing team did that I didn't want them to do, Liz and Wrestler kiss. And that's just... I honestly preferred it when it was just... Because here's the thing, and I've actually had a conversation with a friend of mine about this. Male and female platonic friendships are not something that are written very often. Most of the time, if you got a man and a woman, and they are close friends... it turns romantic at some point. And don't get me wrong, I get that sometimes that does happen. Honestly, most of the time, you want to marry your best friend. Like, that is true. But there are some times that friendships, they really are just that powerful, and you really don't have that romantic connection. And honestly, I've never seen Liz and Wrestler as having that romantic connection. They always sort of... It felt... oftentimes like an older brother and a younger sister. Like he was always looking out for her. He was always there for her when she needed. He was a good confidant for her to go to. And that kiss, in my opinion, now granted she could have just been doing it to get to his gun and, pull him away and all that. But to me, that's confirmation that they're trying to turn it into a romantic relationship. And I don't think they work as a couple. I really don't. So, yeah. Very frustrated with this first episode and a lot of the story choices. It wasn't a bad episode, and it's not poorly written. It's just the decisions they made with writing were stupid. And that's the best way I can put it. It was smart writing, it was clever in the setup and all of that. I just hated what they decided to do with these characters because it kind of cheapens a lot of the last several seasons to see where it goes from there. We went through this great adventure over the past several seasons, seeing, what they're trying to do, and what Reddington's trying to accomplish, what the task force is doing, all the good they're doing. Now it feels cheap because Liz just threw it all away for one person who's only looking out for herself. And it's just dumb. The other thing is, because when I saw Dom, I was very confused. They did recast, so... that was something that I thought they were just going to write him out of the show. So I guess they decided they couldn't just write him out because clearly there's more to do with his character. So and I guess they'd already planned that. I do wonder, again, just because I know last season was cut short because of the shutdown, I do wonder how much of this, like, did they have to rewrite anything? Did they just keep going where they'd already written to the end of the season? I don't know. I'm curious to find out. I may have to look that up after I'm kind of caught up with the end of this season, just to sort of find out, did they just have the other episodes, like the final few episodes, written and then we're seeing it now, or did they just stop and then they're like, we'll start next season, we'll start from where we left off and then we'll pick it up kind of where we left off and just keep going from there. I'm curious if anybody watching this right now, if anybody knows what they did. I would like to know kind of how the writing process went, what were their ideas, and how many of the ideas changed in between where they stopped at season 7 and where they picked up after the shutdown lifted. So yeah, on to the next one. Not looking forward to it nearly as much, but I'll see you there. Nice. And now episode 2, Katerina Rostova, conclusion. That was perfectly timed burp right as I'm coming back. So yeah, apparently they were planning to end all of this stuff with Katerina at the end of last season. Because this feels like it would have been the season finale for last season had the shutdown not happened. And in my opinion, that's terrible, terrible writing. Like, awful. Because here's the thing. This whole thing with Elizabeth and her mom and how awful she feels now that her mom's been killed and how much she blames Red for it and all this stuff, I feel none of it. I should feel. If you had given me more time with Liz getting to know her mom, getting to see what type of person she is, maybe make her mom a little bit more sympathetic, then I would totally be feeling this. I'd be like, holy crap, like Reddington, is he a good guy? Is he the good guy and all? But no. I don't feel any of that. I still feel like her mom is playing her. She doesn't know anything what she's talking about. She just assumes all of this stuff. Reddington didn't confirm any of what she said. He didn't deny it because, of course, I guess from the audience's point of view, we're supposed to question Red's motives and all of this and what he's actually trying to do and all of that stuff. But I don't feel any of that. I feel like he's still got a good reason for why he's doing all of this. And that her mom could not be trusted. Again, she's doing a lot of this stuff to save herself. When she learned the whole truth, what was the first thing she tried to do? Sell out Reddington to save herself. That was it. And it's just, she is so self-serving. She only cared about trying to keep herself alive. And that was it. There was nothing else to her. I don't think she gave a rat's ass about Liz. She just realized Liz was a good way to get to Reddington. And so she opened up to her, tried to got her on her side, and that's how she got her answers. She had Liz help her get Dom, and there you go. She used Liz the whole time. I feel nothing. I feel nothing for Katerina or for Liz in all of this. And that's terrible writing. If this was truly supposed to be the season finale for season 7, that means for 4 or 5 episodes after the mid-season finale, you just ignored the whole Katerina problem. You had her disappear. And then she would have come back for 4 episodes at the very end. I think 4. Yes. 4 episodes. That's how is that supposed to get me emotionally invested? How is that supposed to get me feeling like I don't know who to believe? Like I don't know who to trust? Like they've done such a good job of this in the past. So what happened? Like really, what happened? Did they change writers this season? Last season too? Because it really feels like the writing team just sort of threw up their hands and said, I don't know, let's have Red do something random, and let's have something else random happen, and something else random happen, and oh yeah, we got to get back to Katerina because we want to end the season with her. I guess we'll write her in now. And now you have to have this emotional turncoat moment for Liz at the beginning of this season, and then you have to have that moment when her mom gets killed by Red because she found out too much and was going to essentially blow up at whatever he's trying to do. And I'm assuming, I don't know how all this is going to play in. I assume, I would hope that whoever's kind of in charge of all the writing and stuff, they have an idea of what this big secret is. You know, because there have been so many secrets. I'm assuming it has something to do with this whole Blacklist situation. You know, when they were describing what the archives are, it sounds a lot like the Blacklist. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know all of the answers. I would hope whoever's writing, though, has some sense of what all the answers are. But right now, I'm not entirely sure they do. I think there's some times where I kind of feel like they're just sort of writing, and they're like, "Oh, we got another season. Season. What was that? We got another season. He's not actually Ilya Kozlov. That was just a lie that he didn't deny, and so we'll have the real Ilya Kozlov show up, and now he might be N13. Ooh, he's N13, guys. I'm sure next season we'll find out who the real N13 is. And then, oh, well, this is his actual identity, and this is what he's trying to do. And then the next season, aha, just tricked you again. Like, it feels like they're just sort of spitballing it at this point. Like, these past several episodes, it just feels like they're sort of randomly meandering. And then eventually we got to a point. Here's your climax point. Katarina versus Reddington. Here it happened, and then boom, it's done. She's killed. His secret is safe for now. Liz is pissed at him. She's not going to work with him. He's probably not going to work with the task force. Blah, 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 blah. And then in a few episodes, they'll need his help for something again. And then blah, 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 blah. It feels like a never-ending cycle of you just go up this way and maybe we can trust him. Maybe we're all working together. Maybe, oh yeah, guys, things are hunky-dory. We're working together as a team. We all trust each other. Something happens. Oh, nobody trusts each other anymore. And then they manage to work through it. And now, oh, okay, guys, everything's hunky-dory. We trust each other again. Oh, this is great. And now something happens and no, we're done. We're done. Task force is done. We're not doing this anymore. I'm out. But now I'm going to come back because, you know, we just have to do... Because I swear, if that's what happens, if in the next few episodes they work through everything, or, you know, obviously it probably won't be the next few, but if by the end of this season it's like, oh yeah, no, the task force is back on, Liz is back on the task force, she's working with Reddington again. If they find a way to work through all of this, then it's like, okay, so what was all that for? Because it feels like him shooting her mom, even though she has no reason to believe that her mom's actually a good guy in all of this, and, you know, as much as her mom manipulated her, even despite all of that, the way that they're showing her react, this should be it. There should be no reason for Liz and Reddington to ever work together again. And yet, this is season 8 out of 10. So how are we going to milk this for 2 more seasons? Well, at some point, we got to have the task force back on, right? We got to all work together again, right? So, yeah, I'm just, I don't know. This just feels like they don't really know what they're doing right now. And I'm kind of concerned. Because I haven't felt this way since the show started. It felt like, okay, they know what they want to do. They have a good idea. They're figuring out what they want to do with the show. The writing is very clever. They're doing a good job of keeping all these mysteries and making it intense. And, ooh, what's going to happen next? Like, they did a good job of it for so long. And now it just feels like they went on too long. Now it feels like maybe things should have started wrapping up in season 7. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm guessing, you know, this will be where the real season 8 starts. I don't know what their plan was. You know, are we just going to have this separation where the task force is still operating, but Liz isn't working with them because she doesn't want to work with Reddington? Because she's gonna tell them that Reddington killed her mom, and of course they know that he wanted to. And I don't know. The other thing too is because they built up this whole thing, like so many moments of he's gonna kill her. Oh my gosh, he's gonna kill her. Please don't kill my mom. Oh my gosh, he's gonna kill. They kept talking about that for so long, like so long. there's so many times where it just got to the point where it felt almost, I don't know, it almost felt like they were setting up for it not to happen. It was just too much. Like, even Aram going in to talk to Cooper, he's really gonna do it, sir. He's gonna kill Liz's mom. Like, just the way he goes, it just felt so overblown that I'm like, so he's not gonna do it? And then he kills her, and I'm like, okay, so why did you make this out to be like, oh, he's gonna do it. He's definitely gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Guys, he's gonna do it. Oh my gosh, he's gonna do it. Guys, he's gonna do it. And then he does it. And it's just like, okay, so what was all that build up for then? Like, I don't know. It felt like there was a point to why everybody kept talking about it. Like, it was definitely gonna happen. It felt like it was gonna set up for he's not gonna do it, and then he does it. So it's like, so why all that setup for something that was gonna happen? Like, okay, so you really subverted our... No, you didn't. You didn't subvert our expectations. You just told us what was gonna happen, and you kept building it up like, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Holy crap. Okay, and I don't know. It feels... This all feels so random. I don't know if that's the right word. It feels like there's just not much of a point to the show right now, and I don't know where it's gonna go from here. Because if it were something where she did manage to turn the tables on him and make him seem like he was the spy, this and 13, and now the Townsend Directive is coming after him because they think he has the archive. If that's what was going on, then that would be kind of interesting. And that would set up for a very entertaining next season where now he's trying to dodge all of these people, and they find out that he's been working with this task force, and now they're in danger, so they have to work with him more out of necessity than really wanting to, because he's going to help them stay alive and keep out of the Townsend Directive's hands. That would be kind of interesting, but no. That's not what they're doing, because he manages to stop Katerina from revealing all of this stuff, so what's going to happen now? I don't know. But I've definitely ranted and gone on about this too long, so I don't think I've missed anything on this episode. Dom dying, it just kind of felt like, yeah, after he told her everything, it kind of felt like that was going to happen. Of course, Liz is going to blame Red, even though it was her mom pushing him for answers that killed him. But of course, she still thinks, oh, yeah, it was definitely him. Yeah, on to the final of these 3 episodes. See you there. And now, episode 3, 16 ounces. So yeah, I mean, Elizabeth has kind of become a little insufferable at this point. And it's frustrating. Because, I mean, like I was saying, she's not likable at this point. Like, I don't sympathize with her at all. Like, there is a hint of it because it's her mother, but at the same time, I think about everything her mother did. And I think about, even at the end, like the voicemail that she left to Liz. When they showed her recording, I was like, oh, okay, she's going to get him to admit to some stuff. And then I hear what she's saying. I'm like, well, this is going to make her sound terrible. I mean, she's basically leveraging her daughter as a reason to not kill her. Like, she's using that. She's using Elizabeth again. And it's for her own self needs. Like, it's the way she's speaking to Reddington the whole time. Oh, you won't kill me. And Elizabeth, she chose me. I'm her mother. Like, it sounds so condescending. It sounds so manipulative. And so when Liz starts listening to that message, I'm like, yeah, surely. But at the same time, I thought, no, because they showed her hiding that she was recording it from Reddington, which means it's supposed to be a secret, which means it's supposed to be something Red does not realize Liz is going to hear, which means it's going to somehow turn Liz even more against Red. How? Oh, I know! It's because Liz is a freaking idiot! Oh my god. Like, just everything to do with her right now. They have turned her into the most unlikable person on the show. And I didn't think that was possible, but they did. and I kind of hate her now. Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, now she's the bad guy. She's the villain of the season. It's the task force in Reddington against Liz. And she's become a criminal, but not because of anything Reddington did. He trained her. He got her ready to become something more, something different, something to help her and her daughter. Her mom turned her into a criminal. That's just the truth of it. Because who's the one that asked her to break the law to kidnap her grandfather? That was her mom. Who's the one that, because of her death, she's now trying to commit murder and nearly kills one of her closest friends? That was her mom. Everything her mom did has manipulated her into this psychopathic murderer now. And all I can think is, you don't see any of this. You don't actually... Look at what's going on right now. Look at your life right now. None of this is because of Reddington. You're choosing to do this. And you're choosing to do this because of this person who you call mom. Who's supposed to protect you. And what was she interested in? Protecting herself. So none of her decisions make any sense. Like, maybe if you take the logic out of it, because you can get emotional when a family's member's involved. I get that. I can understand that. But at the same time, from an audience's point of view, you've got to make us understand why. And everything you've shown us between the conversations between her and her mother, all of the stuff you showed us, it was very clear, at least to me, that her mother was just manipulating her. Was just using her for her own self-gain. Using her to stay ahead of Reddington. Using her to stay alive. Using her to get the answer she wanted. That was all she ever did. Reddington has protected her so many times. Has he used her occasionally to get something he needs? Yes, but it's also for her benefit too. And he's taught her a lot of stuff on how to survive over all these years. And it's like, as soon as her mom steps into the picture, she just completely blanks, forgets about the past 7 years and just goes, you know what? You know what? I think I trust this one woman who lied to me a lot more than I trusted this other guy that lied to me a lot. I trust her because she's flesh and blood. And as we know, flesh and blood, you have to trust them. That's a great lesson, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they are kind of painting her as the villain, but at the same time, they are still trying to make it seem like she's sympathetic. Showing the scene between her and Ram where Ram's like, almost tearfully, like, I will arrest you. Like, almost like he feels bad about it. Wrestler giving her a place to stay, even though she nearly blew him up. Like, if I were any of these people, I'd be like, no, look at yourself in the mirror. Do you not realize what you've become? Like, you've become your mother. You can think that you're becoming Reddington, but the fact is, Reddington, he would try to make sure there were no casualties. There's no collateral damage in anything he does. You just like, hey, yeah, let's just put a bomb in there and that'll work. I won't even have eyes on it, so I won't know who's in the room whenever I set it off. I'll just have somebody go in there and set the bomb for me, and then I'll set it off. That'll be fine. I'm sure nobody else will be around. No doctors will happen to be in the room. No like, I don't know. I don't like the turn the show's taken, because I don't know, I guess for me personally, if they were going to do this, if they were setting up for this to happen, for Liz to basically become the villain, if they were setting up for this, I feel like they could have done it, they should have done it in a more clever and a more nuanced way. Have her mom be a lot more clever in how she manipulates her. Have her be a lot more underhanded. Don't make it so just obvious what her mom's trying to do. But they didn't do that. They made it extremely obvious to anybody watching the show that her mom's basically just using her. All of us knew from day one what her mom was trying to do, basically. And they just made her oblivious to all of it. And that's not a likable or good reason to turn your main character into the bad guy. So, I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to this season because of that. I mean, I guess we'll see where they decide to go from here and if it might become interesting. But honestly, I don't feel like it should be. Especially the way that Liz is talking to Reddington at the end of this episode. I almost feel like, obviously they're setting up for it to be a season-long thing where she's going to be trying to kill Red and he's going to be using the task force to try to stop her and, probably to try to find a way to bring her in, but also trying to protect her at the same time. Like, I feel like he's going to be trying to play both sides. He's trying to help her, but he also, he knows she has to be stopped because she's going to try to kill him. And he obviously doesn't want that either. Because, as he was telling Cooper, that's kind of a path that she'll end up regretting down the line. So, he's going to be trying his best to do that, and that's going to be kind of the story for the season, I'm assuming, and I don't know how all the different blacklisters will play into that, but I honestly feel like it should just be done after a couple episodes. Because she talks to Ezzy about, like, the whole, but he's trained me, so I know exactly how to stay one step ahead. Here's the difference. He has a whole structure of people. He has so many people working for him. He has money. He has the ability to get whatever he needs for any situation. He has all of that. You have none of that. You may have the skills that he taught you. You don't have the resources that he has. And yet you're still talking like, oh yeah, I can do exactly what he can do. How? It's like somebody watching a golfer and being trained, under a professional golfer. And it's like, aha, now I know exactly how to play just like him. I've seen him play. He showed me how to play. I can do it. But you don't have clubs or golf balls. So how can you do anything that he's doing if you don't have the materials necessary to do that? Like, that's honestly I'm tired, so that's the best analogy that came to my mind. But yeah, there's no way. There's no way she's going to match his level. And yet she's talking so confidently that I feel like the writers are going to make it stretch that long for stupid reasons. Like, oh yeah, she came up with this last second thing that was, it was genius. And I feel like everybody should have seen through it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. This was not the turn I wanted the show to take. I feel like I should have stopped after season 7 and taken a break and then come back later and gotten frustrated at a different time. But like I said, we'll see what happens. I'm going to have to just accept that this is the reality for the show now and hope that it's at least entertaining, because there are still moments in this episode that were fun. There are still moments that you have those moments where you've got Cooper doing the things to keep the marshals off their back. You've got some of the stuff going, like the call that Liz made. I will say Dembe fell for it a little too easily, but it is clever setup, so I don't know. We'll see what happens next, but that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these 3 episodes? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe, future Blacklist reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.